just too powerful for the young pitchers. They moved on to Boston. The skeptics said, Boston is dominated. They have the Orioles number at Fenway. That was before the road trip. The Orioles returned to Camden Yards with the best record in Major League Baseball and a 5-1 trip. It's the Orioles on Masson, and the Orioles ever happy to be home as they start a very big homestand, 4 games to kick it off against the Texas Rangers. Game 1 coming up here tonight. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. After the momentous ball game yesterday, the Orioles regroup as they get set for Texas, a team that has been the best team in Major League Baseball right up until yesterday when the Orioles were able to move ahead them, but by just a bit. As a result of the long series, 39 innings in 3 games in Boston, the Orioles bullpen is depleted. So there have been some moves today. First of all, let's take a look at the pen. This is just the series in Boston. Ayala, Greg, Johnson, all appearing in 2 games and going 3 innings plus. For Matt Lidstrom, the 3 games, 3 1/3. Darren O'Day in 2 of them. Troy Patton, 3 games, 2 2/3 innings. Pedro Strop, the 2 games, and Chris Davis, of course, has to be listed now coming on to pitch. But what that all means is the Orioles needed help. So today they got it. Jason Birkin has been called up. 5 games, 1.23 ERA so far with Norfolk at AAA. And Stu Pomerantz, the uninvited, non-invited, showed up at spring training pitcher. And Buck said he just kept pitching so well, we had to keep watching him. Well, lo and behold, Pomerantz is here, so the Orioles have a little help. So, Jim, after the ball game, there are some guys in that pen he just doesn't want to go to tonight.
Well, you're right. And, again, we know about Jason Birkin because he's been with the ball club the last 3 years. Pomerantz hasn't. Patton, as you mentioned, and that, to me, that's the key. One of the best players in baseball, MVP 2 years ago, is Josh Hamilton. How do you match up? Well, you don't have a left-hander to do that. So, again, not that righties can't get lefties out. So, again, you probably don't have your ideal team. And as you mentioned in the open, the Rangers represented the American League the last 2 World Series. They can beat you 3, 4, 5 different ways: speed, power, pitching, great bullpen. So it's going to be a good task. And the Yankees were underwhelmed, I guess, with injuries, especially the Red Sox. So the Orioles won the games they're supposed to, and now it's not the finals, but it's close to being a final exam because Texas, as you mentioned yesterday, Buck Showalter said, the best team in baseball.
One of the we'll put a group up tonight who are receiving their American League rings from last year. The Orioles have 6 players who were with Texas last year. You kind of look at the numbers, what the Orioles did last year, a whole lot of blanks because a lot of them were playing for Texas.
Well, that's the Buck Showalter. That's just as we saw Andy McPhail going to the Cubs. The Rangers, of course, have had a better record. A lot of the players, and they've done a nice job for the Orioles.
All right, we're ready to go. It is game 1 here at Camden Yards. The Orioles back home, and when we come back, we'll see just what the Orioles are doing. I'm not sure. Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Jeep. Jeep and the unique brand of freedom you'll find only in the full line of Jeep vehicles. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Overcast night as we begin here at Camden Yards. Take a look at our train game time temperature tonight. 68 degrees on the humid side with a lot of clouds around and a little breeze blowing out towards left field. Visit train.com for an independent train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. Here's the starting lineup for Texas, brought to you by Dodge. Kinsler, Andrus, and Hamilton. Beltre's missed 5. He's back tonight as the DH. Young, Cruz, Napoli. Former Oriole Brandon Snyder at third base. And Craig Gentry. Those are the numbers for Cruz against the Orioles in his career. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out their powerful lineup.
Take a look at our scouting report. Brian Mattis, new streak. The 12-game losing streak. Not good last year, 1-9. Of course, he's always kind of been a pitcher of streaks. A 7-game winning streak to end 2010, an 8-game losing streak earlier in that year. Well, another midterm because the Rangers are their first in runs, third in home runs. They steal bases. They can beat you a lot of different ways. And then pick them up. Talking about the bullpen. Yes, you got 2 new guys, but at the end of the day, if you can do what you did in New York against a very good hitting team in a tough environment, which is to stay out of the middle of the plate, that's the way you beat the Rangers, and then hope your guys get some runs off Matt Harrison.
Brian Mattis trying to continue what he's done in the last couple of starts as he's regrouped on the season, waiting for the Texas bullpen to make their way into the dugout. They came in from the outfield, so they've walked in. There's Buck Showalter, honored before the game in recognition of the 1,000th win that he picked up on the road. And we are ready to go, and here's Ian Kinsler, who will lead it off. And Kinsler will take the pitch for a strike. Kinsler off to another very good year, 284, the 5 home runs, 17 RBIs for Kinsler. In this game, we have just a boatload of players who are among the top 10 in all of the offensive categories in the American League. Home runs, RBIs, and hits. Kinsler leads the American League in runs scored with 28, and he'll pop that one up and back.
Yeah, Luis Esposito, because Matt Wieters catches all 17 innings yesterday behind the plate, and the one thing we know Brian Mattis, when he pitches well, is going to use Matt Wieters, who will be the DH tonight. But the one thing they were able to do in New York is establish inside, which is what he did right there.
And Kinsler will foul that one away. Jim was mentioning in the open how going to New York, the Yankees were short on people, outfielders, injuries. Swisher was out but not DL'd. Going to Boston, they were really struggling. Starters were having some trouble. They lost a starter. Well, Texas's bats, half of the lineup is struggling a little bit coming in. The other half isn't. And Kinsler gets a base hit into right field. So Ian Kinsler's on with a leadoff single for Texas.
Take a look, and again, this is a key play last night at 16th inning. There's your winning run for the Red Sox. A great relay from Jones to Hardy to Wieters, and then maybe a little bit different look. Betamete, he did play left field in Fenway. Jones, Markakis, your outfield. Reynolds, Hardy, and Dino, and then Chris Davis. I'll tell you, he can do it all. He pitched yesterday. He DH'd yesterday. Today playing first base, and then Luis Esposito, his first start for the Orioles.
And a strike taken. Here is Andrus. Elvis Andrus, their fine young shortstop with the .302 batting average and a 6-game hit streak coming in. Texas team with their 18-10 mark. Here's a chance for 2. Nice pick at first. Hardy to Andino to Davis, and a big double play off a fly ball pitcher in Brian Mattis.
Yeah, Brian throws fly balls with the best of them, but here he makes a good pitch. And he's able, it looks like it's pretty in the middle of the plate, but you can see Kinsler getting down there. Not a great throw by Andino, but again, yesterday's winning pitcher with a couple of more outs. A nice little pick.
35 double plays have been turned by the Orioles this year, and that is the second most in the American League behind Toronto. And a swing and a miss by Hamilton. Josh Hamilton He is lighting them up. We talked about those players in the top 10. He is second in average at 381. 9 home runs, tied for first, and he's first in RBIs with 26. And a lot of people think if anyone's going to make a run at the Triple Crown right now, Pujols, before the season started, was mentioned, and Hamilton is mentioned.
Yeah, the biggest problem for him is injuries. And, they try to keep him healthy.
Struck him out. Play's got to be made. Exposito will do it, and Brian Mattis faces only 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Orioles lineup coming up. Matched up in this 4-game set. The Orioles are 1, Texas is 2. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Orioles, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Andino, Hardy, and Markakis, Jones, Wieters, and Reynolds, Bettamy, Davis, and Exposito. And you see the numbers for Adam Jones, lifetime against the Rangers.
Scouting report on the 26-year-old left-hander while he was with the ball club, but not in the postseason 2010. Last year he wins 14 games, has a great year, loves to pitch here, 3-0, loves to pitch on the road, 17-10. That doesn't bother him. But again, started out great. I mean, house on fire, but just like a boat, starts to fall over, lean over. The last 2 starts, he has given up 14 runs in 8 1/3 innings. So there are the 2 losses, and the ERA has gone up. But again, fastball, changeup, breaking ball pitcher, and he has good stuff. Can throw in the mid-90s.
3-0 start. Now 0 for his last 2, and a strike taken by Andino. Herbert Andino, a couple of hits and 8 at bats. Lifetime Oz Harrison, and hitting at 309 on the season. Just out of the top 10. That shattered the bat to short. Anders's throw over to Young is there in time, and Andino is retired.
Take a look at the defense, and when Matt Harrison is on his game, he's going to throw a lot of ground balls, contrary to what Brian Mattis does. Hamilton, Gentry, Cruz, Snyder, Brandon Snyder, former #1 draft choice. He is at third. Andrus, a terrific shortstop. Kinsler, 30-30 guy at second. Young, and then Mike Napoli doing the catching.
For Harrison, the last 2 games have been very short. Against Toronto, 3 1/3 innings, 8 runs on 8 hits. Game before that, Tampa Bay, 5 innings, 7 runs on 14 hits in that ball game. Here is J.J. Hardy, and Hardy will take it away. Hardy with a day to remember in his career yesterday. The 5 for 8, 3 runs, 2 solo home runs, 5 hits in the ball game. That is a career high. He had the home runs in his first 2 at-bats of the ball game. That's going to be a base hit into right center field. Cruz will play it. Hardy's on with a single.
Yeah, talking to JJ before the game, he said, listen, I know my strength. I know I like to hit the ball in the middle and love to play it. I can drive it. He hit 30 home runs last year. I said, also, when you start using the whole field, I don't mean not when you get into hitters counts, all of a sudden, boy, the opposition has to think. And we saw that. They hit the 2 home runs. Buchholz tried to come in on a fastball. He hit it over the wall, hanging curveball, and then used the whole field. So when J.J. Hardy starts hitting the ball back up the middle, he's hot.
He's 11 for his last 33 with that base hit. And here's Nick Markakis. And the left-hander's pitch to him will be a strike taken. For the Orioles this year, against the left-handers, they have the best winning percentage, having won 3 and lost 1 in the American League. They've really upped the average from last year, overall hitting .278 off lefties and .249 off right-handers. Markakis, slow roller. Young's got it. He'll go to short for 1. Andrus the relay. Wow, they turn the double play. So both teams come up with double plays in the first inning. Harrison get over to cover first base on that one. No score after 1. Second inning presented by Luna. Call for the Luna Double and get your second room of flooring free. 877-241-LUNA. Future Hall of Famer right there. Probably a 20-21 season career. 325 batting average.
Get the hands back a little bit. Come on, get prepared to hit.
He's ready. He's got that slightly open stance.
And he will cover the outside corner as he gets older. Maybe not tonight.
Here is Adrian Beltre. Texas mighty happy to have him back in the lineup. He's not played for the last 5 games with a hamstring problem, and they didn't. Ron Washington didn't want to put him in the field in this ball game. So with the left-hander, they move Young over to first base, and Ron put Snyder at third and Beltre in the DH role. And he'll take the pitch up high from Mattis, and the count will go to 2-0. Beltre 3 for 8 off the Oriole left-hander.
Yeah, he dialed them in, talking about Ron Washington in the 11th inning, hit a 3-run pinch hit home run to win the game on Saturday night in Cleveland. And he will play tomorrow. At least that's unless he would injure himself tonight. Well, Gold Glover, I mean, yeah, but he can hit. I mean, he can flat out hit and wears out the Orioles.
Beltre's hitting just 91 against left-handers this year. 2 for 22.
It really wouldn't matter, would it?
Yep.
None of them close.
So Brian Mattis will walk the leadoff batter here in the second inning. Beltre on, Young and Cruz coming up.
Well, there we go early, and had a very good spring early on, maybe trying a little bit too hard. Mechanics were horrible. So you can see he has pitched better. They haven't scored him a lot of runs until his last game. Took advantage of that for his first win. But again, I mean, that changeup, so that's 5 pitches, not even close, not even sniffing the strike zone.
Michael Young with a .315 batting average. Couple of hits, 6 at bats off Mattis. Beltre on at first base. Pitch will be outside, and that'll send Exposito out, as those pitches were not close. For Brian Mattis against Texas, his career numbers 2 and 1. His ERA is over 6.6. However, in the 2 starts against Texas here at Camden Yards, he has won them both with a 2.4 earned run average.
Yeah, his problem in 2010 was Vladimir Guerrero hit 2 3-run home runs, one on a hook and one on a fastball he tried to get in, and that was 6 runs right there. There's the low strike.
So Exposito in his first start trying to manage the ball game. First time he has caught Brian Mattis, of course. He'll get a little help from the dugout as needed, but a veteran catcher, and they really like the way he works behind the plate.
Got a good arm
by Young.
Yeah, we saw him come in, and I guess it was Saturday in Boston, kind of all those games running 13, 9, 17 innings, but ball got by him, and then he did get the force at first. Very good arm.
Runner at first, Beltre, bad hamstring. He's not going anywhere, and Mattis just misses with the changeup, and the count will go to 3-2.
And one thing about Michael Young, 6 years of over 200 hits, and that ball just around the plate.
He has really put numbers up against left-handers. 3-ball, 2-strike count, and that ball is a towering fly ball to left in the yard. Betamit getting the start out there, and he's got it. Runner halfway will go back, and Young is retired, 1 away. Maryland Lottery strike and rich contestant for our game is Eddie Addison from Cantonsville. Eddie's already won $500 for being selected, and for every Orioles strikeout, Eddie will get $100 more from the Maryland Lottery. See how you can turn non-winning strike and rich scratch-offs into cash and enter to win great Oriole prizes at mdlottery.com/strikeitRich. So, Eddie, good luck. Here's Nelson Cruz playing in right field. Cruz will take the pitch outside. Cruz is hitting only .216 coming into the ball game, and he has heard his manager from behind talking about it and not being particularly happy. 2 for his last 22. Ron Washington says he's got to start using all the fields, and the pitch is up high, 2-0.
And he can do that because he's a multifaceted player in the sense that he's pretty good defensive. He can run a little bit, stole 9 bases last year, great power the other way. But again, he gets himself into a good hitting count here.
Taking and a strike on the outside corner.
And again, when you're 2 for 22, that usually indicates that you're not seeing the ball very well. And that was a good pitch. I mean, to me, that's a pitcher's pitch, so you take it. And you've still got a couple of strikes to work with.
You think you hear it when your manager says, yeah, he's always been streaky, but this streak now looks like the streaks he used to have when we were shipping him up and down to the minors. Hello?
Well, Ron Washington, he's a realist. And, he really is. And, former player, actually played here. He's a terrific coach out in Oakland.
2-2, loop down the line. Markakis has a long way to go, and he's not going to get there. He was swung around towards center. Beltre can barely run. He is going to get to third base limping in. I mean, Beltre is about 1/8 of the speed you'd normally see. Cruz picks up the double.
So that's what Ron Washington said. They try to come in, but he doesn't even get close to in. It looks like a changeup. Look right down the middle of the plate. And again, he's able to reach it. You get it on the corner. Probably doesn't hit it quite as hard. So this is Cruz. Now he's had a history of quad problems, so he's easily, because he's healthy, into second base. And meanwhile, Beltre is limping over to third.
So the Orioles, Brian Mattis now faces Mike Napoli, and he's starting out with these pitches that are out of the strike zone. He threw only 10 pitches in the first inning. 9 were for strikes. Here in the second inning, that is not the case. Napoli 0 for 2 against Brian Mattis. An opportunity here with 1 down. And Napoli in the off-speed delivery swings through it.
So Brian, again, not in shape, hurt last year, really worked hard, and a little bit of a recoil there. That's what he did so well in New York. I mean, he didn't strike one guy out, walked 4, threw the ball downhill, and he is 6'4".
Good fastball.
Yeah, it's
1
not
and
going
2.
to get much higher than 91 or 92. Now, they said he touched 94 in spring training, but he's pitched somewhere between 88 and 92. And, of course, he did win 7 in a row at the end of 2010, throwing an average fastball of 91 miles per hour.
Here's the 1-2 delivered to Napoli. Esposito with a nice stop. Napoli's hitting only 143 with runners in scoring position, 3 for 21. This is a ball club in Texas that's third in the American League overall in these situations, hitting at 299 as a ball club. They've got Beltre at third, Cruz down there at second. No score, second inning. Napoli with a 2-2 delivery. And he gets the pop up in the infield. Markakis will come in to take it. Beltre's not even going to remotely go back to the bag. He just kind of stayed 3 or 4 steps off, and there's a big second out.
It really is. It's not a great breaking ball, but it fools Mike Napoli. It's one of those hangers you think is going to break, and you wait and wait and wait, and then you pop it up and get under it. So a big out for Bryant.
So now, as so often happens in the wonderful game of baseball, the guy you had high hopes for at one time is wearing another uniform and comes up in a key situation. Brandon Snyder. Snyder had a start in Toronto on Wednesday, and it's going to get away, and Beltre's going nowhere. Good or bad leg, he's not going to try and score on that one. He was acquired January 3 from the Orioles, 25-year-old, making the opening day roster. In all honesty, the last man standing kind of thing for Texas. Not negatively towards Brandon, but that's the way it was. He can play in a lot of places, a lot of positions. Another one of those versatile players. And Ron Washington wanted him. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that'll just miss.
And you can use him exactly as they used him up here when he was in the big leagues, which is usually against left-handed pitching. Playing third tonight, played left field the other night. He's actually catching, which is what he signed for. He was a #1 draft choice for the Orioles back in 2005. And right there, the low strike.
He's 3 for 7 against left-handers. One of the reasons Ron Washington wanted to get him in the lineup tonight. And Brian Mattis trying to work his way out of a jam. 2-1, 2 down, 2 in scoring position. Mattis to Snyder. Off-speed pitch, and that's in there. Good breaking ball.
Yeah, Brian Mattis is probably the best pitch he had in New York was this pitch right here, the curveball. Maybe even a little bit better. That's just 2-1 fastball count, and he comes back with something off speed.
2-2. And that's going to be a base hit to center field. Jones up, Beltre scores, Cruz will score, and indeed, Brandon Snyder does come through, and Texas has a 2-0 lead.
Well, you double up on your breaking ball, and the second one ends up in the middle of the plate. You got first base open. Watch where this comes. Now, again, glad they beat their former #1 draft choice. That was Darnell McDonald yesterday in the 17th inning, and right here, retribution. There's a curveball that stays up, and there's 2 runs for the Rangers.
Snyder will pick up RBIs numbers 2 and 3. He's on at first, 2 down, and the pitch taken for a strike. This is Craig Gentry, who is getting the start in center field in the ball game. Gentry, you see the numbers he's put up: the home run and 6 RBIs, 7 strikeouts, and a couple of walks for Gentry. Reynolds plays in at third base, and that will be fouled back. Esposito moving people around there. Last year, domination by the Rangers against the Orioles in every category. They won 5 out of the 6, and those numbers, I mean, they're just totally lopsided.
You don't even want to look at them.
No, and there was nothing close. That ball looped into right field. That is very shallow, and it'll be the second baseman, Andino, back to get it. But a 2 RBI base hit by Snyder. Texas goes on top, 2-0. yesterday, the Red Sox monumental game, first since 25 when two teams used position players as pitchers in the same game. Ty Cobb and George Sisler, both Hall of Famers, closed out that game in 1925, the last time until yesterday that had happened. 18 pitchers, the most ever in Fenway history. Chris Davis, first player to go 0 for 8 and win a game since Rube Waddell in 05. First O's player to pitch since Manny Alexander 96. First American League position player to earn a win since Rocky Colavito did it in 68. And there is Chris Davis. Talk about going from a jack to a king in a matter of 2 innings. One of the worst days he ever had at the plate with 5 strikeouts. And then goes out on the mound and pitches 2 innings and comes away with a win in the game. I thought his comment was great when Buck told him, I'm sure many Oriole fans have seen it, that he was going to pitch. It was like, whoopee, something new, because the hitting isn't working.
Sweet, yeah. He said sweet because the other. Yeah, he said, I wasn't very good yesterday. He said, I kind of knew what I was doing, but couldn't change it.
And back as a position player today, Adam Jones at the plate. Jones is 4 for 9 with a home run lifetime off Matt Harrison of Texas. And a swing and a miss and got him.
Yeah, well, that's the pitch that sets up all the stuff, that changeup. And Mike Maddux, after he struggled with 3-0, lost his last 2 games, 14 runs in 8 1/3, he said, your head's flying all over the place. So use your head. It's your focal point. Everything comes around it. And again, if you can take your head and your chin to the glove, you got a chance.
Nissan Pitch Track. Get to a Nissan dealer. Great deals. Innovation you can count on. Innovation for all. Strike taken by Matt Wieters. Matt, the designated hitter, after working through the ball game yesterday, and he's got a 7-game hit streak, raising his average to 301 on the year. Matt also one of those many players in this game up among the leaders. The 7 home runs ties him for 6th place in the American League in homers. He's had one of the few Grand Slam home runs that have been hit this year in the American League. And got jammed, and we'll fight that one off.
Yeah, I think the interesting number, we talked about Mattis predominantly almost, 70% or in the upper 60s in fly balls. When Matt Harrison pitched well in his first 3 games, it was about 21 innings, 51 on the ground. Last 2, only 7.
And the ball's not sinking for a sinker ball pitcher, you're in trouble.
Well, again, if you fly open and your head goes for him, it'll go towards their dugout. Your arm never catches up. The ball stays up. Stay behind it. It sinks like that.
Right back to the mound. You'll make the easy flip over to first base. And Wieters is retired, 2 away here in the 2nd inning. The Brooks Robinson Orioles Legends Celebration Series, the unveiling that was originally scheduled for Saturday, postponed until Saturday, September 29. Game against the Rays will be played as scheduled. If you want to exchange your tickets for the 29th game, you can, or any other non-prime home game. Replica Brooks sculptures will be available to all fans in attendance September 29. You can go to the Orioles box office or go to Orioles.com. For number 5. Here's Mark Reynolds. Reynolds has a 3-game hit streak coming into the ball game. He had a career in Boston, hitting 195 now with a couple of home runs and 9 RBIs. And that'll bounce away.
Yeah, one Friday, one Saturday. He's sitting on the bench today. He said, well, how many fastballs did I see up there? He said 2, and I hit them both for home runs. I said, well, that kind of answers your question. Why, if you were hit, he maybe should have popped one up. He might have seen at least 3 or 4 of them.
3-game hit streak, including his first 2 home runs of the year coming in Boston. He reached base 6 times yesterday, a new high. Part of that, 4 walks in the game, also a new career high for Mark Reynolds. Orioles have won 5 in a row. They've gone 10 games above 500 for the first time since 05. They have a half-game lead in the American League East with their 19-5 record. Texas leads the American League West by 3.5 games. 3-ball, 1-strike delivery. Reynolds takes it. It's a strike on the inside corner. Gary Darling, home plate umpire. He was headed to first base. Reynolds was. You look at the success against lefties. Batting average overall good. Reynolds at 400. Then Wieters, Andino, and Davis. Nolan Reimold, of course, unavailable on the DL. And that is outside and another walk. So Harrison surrenders the 2-out free pass. Harrison has walked 8 in 32 innings this year. And that will bring up Wilson Betemit. Betemit getting the start in left field today.
Yeah, well, as the season progresses, and of course they played the Yankees. They haven't seen CC Sabathia. That's a good thing. Toronto, 6 games against Toronto. Didn't see Ricky Romero. That's a good thing. Haven't seen David Price, but Tampa's coming in. You might see him over the weekend. So it's not only lefties. It's, to be honest, as you know, it's who you and the quality of the lefties. Harrison won 14 games last year.
That ball down the line in right field by Betemit, and it is going to be a foul ball.
And he won 14 games because he throws ground balls. He plays for a good team. As we mentioned, he was a guy they left off the roster when they went to their first World Series in 2010. And he said there's something wrong with this picture. So a lot of more, just as we've seen with Jason Hamill, who's pitching well. He went to spring training last year. He had a great spring. He forced Ron Washington to give him an opportunity, and then he seized it.
And was not good in the World Series.
No.
He ended up 0-2, 2 games, 7 2/3 innings. And against the Cardinals gave up 8 runs on 11 hits in those 7 2/3. He'd worked a game against Tampa Bay in the division series that he won. 2 games, 1 as a starter, and then the championship series against Detroit. He had 1 start, non-decision. Had a good ball game. And that one slapped outside a third base foul, and the count will go to 1-2.
Yeah, one of the guys that came over in the Mark Teixeira trade. They got their shortstop. They got tomorrow night's pitchers. They got tonight's pitcher. That's Teixeira in 2007 at the trading deadline. Pretty good trade for the Rangers. And they also got Saltalamacchia, where they eventually traded to Boston.
That'll go to center field. Gentry will come under it, and he's got it. And the Orioles are retired here in the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base after 2. Texas leads. Brought to you by Chevy Cruze, offering the best highway mileage of any gas engine in America. And by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal Credit Union serves the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, the Department of Defense, and their families, federally insured by NCUA. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer here at Camden Yards as the Orioles come back home for this long homestand. 4 against Texas, Tampa Bay for 3, and the Yankees for 2. Brian Mattis, pitch count already up 28 pitches in the second inning to only 6 batters. And with that one, a strike. He has now thrown 5 strikes, first strikes in the 10 batters he's faced. Kinsler had a single his first time up and then got doubled up. That one's going to be blooped into right field. Markakis a busy night, and that's going to fall in front of him. Kinsler's 2 for 2.
Yeah, not a bad pitch, but it's up, and it's a breaking ball, so he jams him. But this is what's so tough about Kinsler. I mean, last year he steals 30 bases and only gets caught 4 times. He hits 30-plus home runs, so he's a 30-30 guy. He walks 89 times. He doesn't look like your prototypical leadoff guy because he hits home runs. But I tell you what, 29 other teams would like to have him. He's that good.
Exposito with a nice stop on that one down in the dirt. Elvis Andrus hit into that double play. Andrus has been on a tear during the 6-game hit streak he's in, hitting .458. And he has been on base 24 consecutive games, one way or the other. Pitch is taken away, and the count will go to 2-0. Andrus, a .298 career hitter here in Camden Yards. Orioles infield will play for 2. Reynolds even with the bag at third. And he rips it. That's going to be into the left field corner. Bettavit going over to get it. Kinsler's on his way to third. And it'll be a double for Andrus. And Brian Mattis is getting tagged by Texas early in the ballgame.
Well, they can hit. And Andrus hitting over 300. Got a lot stronger around Washington. His skipper, Scott Coolbaugh, the hitting instructor, said, you know, you're not a home run guy. Just still stay short to the ball. And he's a line drive guy. He's almost scored 100 runs. Kinsler play in front of him, so he knows whether Bettamit's going to get to it. You can see right there he did. So he stops at third base.
Now 2 more in scoring position. The shift is put on against Hamilton. He'll take the pitch down low for a ball. A strikeout victim his first time up.
And now when you need a strikeout, Gary, this is the important thing. What Josh Hamilton's going to do is hit a ball to the right side. If he grounds out, you'll get a run in. It'll make it 3-0. The runner will move to third, so you can score him on a fly ball. And then again, when you look at the numbers and you're Brian Mattis, and again, you've only won 1 out of your last 15 starts, you're not real comfortable.
Well, this is the 6th best hitter against left-handers.
Yeah.
A .400 batting average against lefties for the left-handed hitting, Josh Hamilton. And that pitch is going to be up, and he'll fall behind at 3-0. Now,
so there you go. And
a 3-0 count. And Hamilton takes it, and the bases are loaded. That is the second walk surrendered by Mattis, and on a night when the Orioles desperately needed a deep game from their starter after the 17-inning ball game yesterday, Brian Mattis is not headed in that direction.
Well, Brian's stuff is short. I don't mean just tonight. It's short. He has to stay out of the middle of the plate. He did it in New York. First thing the Yankees said last Wednesday was he really pitched well. Used all his pitches. Threw downhill. Breaking ball was sharp. A little bit of zip on the fastball. Good changeup. Finished his pitches. Tonight that's not the case. And again, the Rangers, they let you know how you're pitching.
Jason Birkin, Stu Pomerantz, 2 pitchers called up. Probably shuffling around in the bullpen. Kinsler, Andrus, Hamilton are on. Here's Beltre. He drew a walk, scored in the 2nd inning.
Well, we got a little recoil from Brian, and that means you land on your heel and you actually come back. So when you do that, you don't get over the front side, and the ball doesn't go down in the zone. There is Jason Birkin.
And that one is going to miss, and the count goes to 2-0. So Texas with a big chance here, 2-0 lead. They have already picked up a couple of hits and a walk in the inning to load them up. And Beltre, their cleanup batter, 3 for 8 off Mattis, and he will take the strike on the inside corner.
Yeah, you're really thinking, where can I go to get an out? You will trade a run for an out, and then maybe you can get Michael Young waiting on deck to hit into a double play.
Breaking ball strike. You saw Beltre with the 9 grand slams, none this year. 0 for 1 with the bases loaded. Mattis has A strikeout against Hamilton that came in the first inning. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Beltre, he'll put it in the air to right field. Not particularly deep. Kinsler tagging up. He's not going anywhere. He will stay right there at third base in the arm of Nick Markakis. 1 out.
Well, there you go. Back into the count, and this is what you think they know. Won a Gold Glove last year, did Nick Markakis. You got Michael Young, who wears lefties out, coming up. You're not going to get thrown out double play at the plate, because that's what it would have been.
We said Hamilton is the 6th best hitter against lefties. Young is the 5th. Young is hitting .421 against left-handers and .313 overall.
And a little mini slump.
Yeah, that'll be taken down low. Yeah, he's one of those in the lineup who's had his struggles of late. But boy,
well, yeah. The one thing he's done so well is the .378 with runners in scoring position. 11 for his last 53. So for him, that's a mini slump.
That'll be taken down low. Young flied out his first time up. 1 hit, last 11 at bats, and only .208 in his last 13 games. His average has dropped 100 points over the last 13 ball games. 2-0 count, the delivery, and that's going to go to right field. That will get one in. Markakis will make the catch. Kinsler will tag. Sacrifice fly for Young, and Texas has a 3-0 lead in the ball game.
Yeah, situational hitting. Look for a ball to get in the air. The count has a lot to do with it. Brian had to throw him a strike down 2-1, and he was just all over it.
So Young, the RBI. Kinsler, who led the inning off with a single, comes around to score. Young now has 17 runs batted in on the season. And now runners at first and third as Andrus moved up to third base. Hamilton remains at first. There are 2 down. And that will be fouled off by Cruz, who doubled and scored in the first inning. Nelson Cruz, 5 for 8 now with a home run lifetime off Mattis. He has been an Oriole problem. .361 career average against the Orioles. And a 2-strike count on Cruz.
So now Brian will hopefully pitch out of the zone. You get a guy that's been struggling. The runners at first and third. He didn't do it to Andrus, who's down at third. Got a fastball in the middle of the plate to hit it into the corner.
Esposito out with the signs in case Hamilton should take off. 3-0 lead.
Yeah, John Russell, the bench coach, also in charge of catching, giving the signs.
Cruz will take it up high for a ball. That .361 average against the Orioles by Cruz is the 7th highest among all players. History against the Orioles. Adrian Gonzalez with the Red Sox, #1. Breaking ball he tried to wait on. He'll foul that one away, and the count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes on Cruz.
But again, where was the breaking ball? It was up. You have a base open. You're ahead in the count. You have to finish your pitches. That's what Brian did in New York.
Runners off first and third. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Cruz goes down swinging. What you can say about that inning from the Orioles' perspective is it could have been a whole lot worse. A run in on a couple of hits, and 2 are left on base. Texas leads at 3-0. 5, it's Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. For every Tuesday home game, all upper reserve seats are only $9 in advance, $10 game day. Gather up family and friends, enjoy an affordable night at Camden Yards, 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. Fans applauding a young man who's coming to the plate, who got a win yesterday. Chris Davis, the Orioles first baseman, who's spent the last 24 hours being interviewed.
Yeah, well, he has. Look at that. Tremendous stride, gets over his front side. The splitter. When they had the Frank Robinson statue, I was talking to Hank Aaron. I said, did you have trouble with Koufax? Yeah, I hit him all right. How about Gibson? Yeah. So he went down the list. He said, yeah, I had fairly good luck against them. He said, the ones that I had trouble with, the guys I'd never seen before. Well, there, you're looking at him.
Chris Davis.
No scouting report on Chris yesterday.
First time he'd pitched since 2006. He was the closer at Navarro, Texas Junior College, and he did work as a closer there. And his only, I don't say only, but Buck Showalter, he had read all the bios on all of his players, talking with him after the game last night. Swung out and missed. He said, I read about him closing, and I talked to him in spring training about pitching if we needed an emergency pitcher, and he said absolutely. Here, the strikeout goes to Harrison.
Yeah, just a little breaking ball, first one he's thrown, and he saved it. And throw it to Markakis. He jammed him and got him to hit into a double play, so nicely thrown breaking ball under the zone. And just sinker. If he doesn't get the ball up, he's tough to beat. On the road last year, he had the 6th best road ERA of any pitcher in the American League, and that was on 2.99. So very comfortable away from Rangers ballpark.
Towards the middle, Kinsler's over, and will make the running throw for the out. Exposito is retired, 2 down. Our Burger King game flow. Texas getting out early, and Brian Mattis, whose pitch count is climbing rapidly. They have picked up the 2 RBI single by Snyder. That was a 2-out hit in the second inning. Got only a sacrifice fly RBI in the third when they had the bases loaded and nobody out. We'll see whether or not the Orioles, behind Mattis, being able to stop him, can they gain a little mo here in this game. Leadoff batter Andino. Andino grounded out his first time up, takes it for a strike. Andino's second time in the leadoff spot for the Orioles this year. And he'll foul that one away.
And Ron Washington said it best. He said, what we haven't been doing, even though they came in at 299 with runners in scoring position, is getting key hits. They've already done that.
Well, they did it once. They didn't do it in the third.
No, but they did get a run. And then what's the other side of momentum?
The other side
starting
is
pitcher. Yeah.
And we'll see how if Harrison gets settled out. Snyder with that big hit in the second inning. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Andino will take it inside for a ball. Andino's done well against both lefties, righties. 333 lefties, 303 right-handers, and a 305 overall batting average. He's 2 for 9 against Harrison. And Harrison gets him on a great pitch down and in. So Harrison gets the strikeout, his third of the game. 2 coming in this inning as he sets the side down in order. Baseball on Masson, brought to you by AT&T 4G LTE. With speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G, AT&T rethink possible. And by Blimpie, America's sub shop. Here at Camden Yards, a 3-0 lead through 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 left on by the Rangers. Orioles no runs with only 1 hit and only 1 left on. And Brian Mattis running that pitch count up. Right-handers had to be salivating for both teams waiting to get to this game. Right-handers against Brian Mattis are hitting .308 with a couple of home runs. Right-handers against Matt Harrison, .382 with 2 home runs. And that will be fouled back by a right-hander. Mike Napoli flied out first time up.
Big-time power. 30 home runs last year. He escaped Anaheim. It wasn't good enough defensively for Mike Scioscia. Well, actually, he escaped to Toronto for what a day.
He doesn't know.
And then John Daniels traded for him. 383 the second half of the year. Pretty good number.
He was tied for 6th in homers with a number of players with 7. He fouled that one back. He's had only 1 home run his last 13 and only a couple of hits in his last 19 at bats. He too has seen his average dip from 273 to 238 over that span. Brian Mattis with a 2-strike count, trying to become efficient here to help the Orioles pitching staff out. Stays at 2 strikes.
Yeah, just try to keep them at bay for a while and do it efficiently so you can pitch into the 7th inning. I don't think 3 runs, if the Orioles hit like they did in Boston or New York, that doesn't mean you're automatically not going to win.
And a good fastball and gets him. Napoli goes down swinging. 2 strikeouts in a row for Mattis and 4 in the game.
And both on fastballs. Just throws it by him.
That'll bring up Corey Snyder, the big 2 RBI single in the 2nd inning for the former Oriole. Brandon Snyder will take it up high. He played 16 games with the Orioles. 2010 he got in 10, and last year he played in 6 of them. Over 700 games in the minor leagues. Had always been in the Orioles organization prior to going to Texas. He is 25 years old, minor league 275 hitter, and only 33 at bats in the majors before this year. 2-0 delivery to him from Brian Mattis. That'll be up high. 3-0.
Yeah, he's just heading to their dugout, and everything is getting up in the zone. Now he's gotten away with it a little bit, but again, we talked about Matt Harrison struggling. Your head takes you where you want to go. Your front shoulder, your steering wheel. If you watch Matt Harrison tonight, he has quieted his head down. And when you do that, you have a better line to home plate.
And fouls it back with a big cut. 3-ball, 2-strike count on Snyder with Gentry waiting on deck. Mattis will try and not turn the lineup over. He can get the bottom 3. 70 pitches thrown.
Well, just throw him a straight changeup.
One away, 3-2 delivery to him. And a towering pop-up again.
Nobody.
Jones in center. 2 down. The April 28th Orioles Legends Celebration Series festivities for Frank Robinson. The beginning, you can still get Orioles Legends Celebration Series packages. Lock in your ticket to each of the remaining 5 games in the series. You'll get a replica of Frank Robertson sculpture in case you missed it. And to reserve your seat, be a part of Orioles history, 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com/legends. There is the statue so many have already come to see and getting their picture taken in front of. Here is Craig Gentry. And Gentry takes it up high and did not go around Paul Emmel at first base.
Yeah, I came through Little Italy on the way to the ballpark today, and somebody was walking by with a Brooks Robinson jersey, and they said, oh, yeah, we just went over and saw Frank at the ballpark. Took a tour of Camden Yards, coming to the game tonight.
Gentry will take it down low. Gentry 271 last year, only 133 at bats with Texas. Spent a lot of time at Round Rock and hit well at AAA. Only 95 major league at bats in his career coming into this season. 2-0 delivery, and Gentry will take that outside. And again, Brian Mattis falls behind on the count, 3-0.
Yeah, Gentry's the perfect guy for defense, a great base stealer, so you could pinch run with him, and then he's got 2 home runs, one and inside the park, and then hit his first legitimate one last Monday up in Toronto.
He is a Texas native, Dallas, in fact, so he grew up around the ballpark. Here's the 3-1 delivery on the way, and that will be a strike in the inside corner. He was headed down on that one. 3-2.
So the feel of how do I get the ball down in the zone? Last 2 pitches, perfect. How do I do that? You can see Brian just falling tonight. Falling right.
3-2 delivery. Line shot, base hit. Gentry's on with a 2-out single. That will be hit number 6 for Texas, and the first for Gentry. And that will turn the order over as Ian Kinsler will be coming back to the plate. Kinsler already has 2 singles. He has scored a run in the game. Now has 6 hits and 9 at bats lifetime against Brian Mattis. Texas trying to mount another 2-out rally in the throw over to get Gentry back to the bag. Kinsler, a lifetime .348 hitter against the Orioles with 8 home runs lifetime against the O's. That'll go to short. They have a force at second. Got to go to first, Hardy, and plenty of time to get the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Orioles, Hardy, Markakis, Jones coming up. They're recognized for the 1,000th win, the 58 manager to reach that level, and did that on the road, of course. So recognizing him after he got back home, his wife Angela on the field with him, and the check presented to his favorite charity, Kids Place. Dan Duquette on hand, Orioles front office, and the entire team out there, of course. And then Buck Showalter went back and started worrying about this game. Here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy with a single his first time up. Harrison has walked 1, struck out 3. That's a base hit into left field. Well, Hardy's really found his bat. He had a real good weekend in Boston. Had not been hitting well. He's got himself over that 200 average mark and climbing.
Yeah, getting good pitches to hit and not missing them. That changeup just ends up in the middle of the plate, and he's all over it.
12 for his last 34 now for Hardy. The Orioles down by a score of 3-0. Only their second hit. He's got both of them.
Well, you're hoping that the Orioles can do to Matt Harrison what the Red Sox did to Tommy Hunter. He cruised in, only an infield hit, and then gave up a run in the 4th and then 4 in the 5th. But this is the guy that you got to get going, especially against lefties. Yeah,
against the lefties, hitting coming into the ball game 130. and he's hit into a double play in this game. So he's 3 for 24 against left-handers. And Nick will take it for a strike. He is also up there among the leaders hitting into double plays in the American League.
Well, that's he's hit more ground balls this year than normal. And, we saw it the first time. It looked like a little slide step from Matt Harrison, and it caught him, I think, a little surprised.
And he's going to hit into another one. Andrus to Kinsler. Nice pick at first base by Young, but he couldn't hang on to it.
Pretty risky. I don't know why Ian Kinsler, who again came up, and of course Ron Washington said you're going to play every day at second base. You're going to have to learn. So it's hit pretty slowly. I don't know why he thought he had to bare hand it. So pretty fortunate. Boy, with a 3-0 lead, you want to make sure you get it out. He's not Omar Vizquel by any means.
So the fielder's choice will leave the runner on at first base, Markakis, to bring up Adam Jones. Jones, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Texas comes into the game second in defense, percentage-wise at least. They have committed only 11 errors, the second fewest in the American League.
Yeah, Andrus is only 23, their shortstop.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it really
seems
is.
like he's played for 100 years already.
Doesn't look 100. He just looks like
but just seems like he's been around that long. That pitch will be taken down low, and a 1-ball-1-strike count. Jones and then Wieters due up. The Orioles trying to get the offense going with only a couple of hits. Both of these teams have done a great job of holding opponents. The Orioles and Rangers, the only teams coming into this game allowing fewer than 100 runs. We said you have a matchup in this series of the two best pitching staffs in the American League. The Orioles ranked number 1 overall. Texas ranked number 2. The Orioles starters are 4th. Texas 6th. The Orioles bullpen 1 and the Rangers 2. Adam Jones, 2-ball-1-strike count. Very deep. Gentry in center. Playing him to pull. Pitch will be taken away. And a 3-ball-1-strike count. Adam Jones with the big blast yesterday that would provide the game-winning RBI. He's had home runs in back-to-back games against Boston. He continues to be a tower of power on the road.
Yeah, let's see what he gets here. The changeup is giving him trouble.
That ball grounded ashore. They'll try it again. Andrus to Kinsler. This time plenty of time for the relay. And Texas turns the double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. Texas leading at 3-0. From the Orioles to the Buck Showalter family for that recognition of Buck's managerial 1,000th win. The members of the Kids Peace group on hand for the ball game, and some of them were actually out on the field during that presentation. It's the sponsorship of Kids Peace, helping kids and families when they need the help most. And the Orioles with a $10,000 check presentation. And they're staying, of course, to watch the ball game, the kids who are here. Brian Mattis goes to work here in the 5th inning. Andrus, Hamilton, and Beltre. Andrus with a double, and he's hit into a double play. And he's popped one up towards center field. Jones is there, and he's got it. Pitch in and out. And boy, does Mattis need and the Orioles need a few of those here in this inning, up to 79.
Yeah, aggressive hitter, and you're just enough on it and enough out of the zone to get a first pitch pop up to center field.
9 out of 20 first pitch strikes have been thrown by Brian Mattis. He came in retiring only 55% of leadoff batters. That's a killer. Texas has had the leadoff man on in 3 of the 5 innings. And a 1-strike count. Josh Hamilton has struck out in what? Hamilton has missed a few games already. Missed the Toronto series. Back spasms. Back stiffened up on him. Still, he's topped the American League in home runs, tied with 9 RBIs with 26. And 7 of those RBIs have been go-ahead RBIs, the most in the American League.
Yeah, they said he can't hurt the back anymore. That's why. Still some lingering.
That's comforting.
Well, they said, well, you know, it is what it is, and it's not going to be maybe chronic as far as a little bit of pain, and then you treat it. But again, as we mentioned, they just want to keep him healthy. That's why a lot of times last year, keep him out of center field. Terrific center fielder, covers ground, makes plays, but hits walls.
1-2 delivery on the way to him, and that's going to be foul back. So Brian Mattis maintains the count at 1-2. Hamilton, big numbers against left-handers and a .420 batting average on the road. 5 of his 9 home runs have been hit away from Texas. 1-2 count. Shift is on against him. And there goes the bat again. Oh, we've seen a few of those. That one bounces off some seats. It was far enough back that fans looked as though they had a chance to react and get out of the way. Mattis will get his 5th strikeout. Everybody appears to be all right.
You know, we've had some Olympic type bat throws in Boston, one all the way to the aisle there, and then
youngster got hurt. The Boston player had a bat fly away. And the pitch is in there for a strike to Beltre. Beltre a walk and a run scored, and he has flied out. Beltre also on the road, 385. 2 of his 5 home runs have come away from Texas. 0-1 delivery in the air to center. Jones. And it is a good quick inning. Brian Mattis retires the side in order. Texas with the lead. The big 2 RBI base hit that put him up. They added another, and for Brian Mattis, the question is, can he be consistent, Jim? When he gets the ball down, he looks good, and then the next inning it disappears.
Well, he looked like one of the best left-handers in baseball last inning. Strike 1, a little zip. The strikeout of Hamilton that the bat went about 18 rows, press breaking ball. But again, that we didn't see that early in the ball game. So the game is not over. The Orioles just have to figure out Matt Harrison already. He's been able to get him to hit into double play. He's a ground ball pitcher, and he's been throwing ground balls. Only one ball in the fly in the air all evening tonight. So, again, he's been much better than he's been his last 2 starts.
Two distinctly different pitchers. Brian Mattis, one of the most pronounced fly ball pitchers, and this guy, one of the best at getting the ground balls when he's on. So let's see if the Orioles can find a way. Matt Wieters will be leading it off. First ball hitting, pops it up towards right field. Kinsler goes back. He'll be called off by Cruz. And Wieters, who grounded out his first time up, is retired here in the 5th inning on 1 pitch. Wieters, the designated hitter for the Orioles tonight, 0 for 2.
Well, pitching, baseball, game of adjustment. Harrison goes from being 3-0, pitching about as well as you can pitch, to pitching about as poorly as you can pitch. And then you do your side work. Your pitching coach, Mike Maddox, gives you a little bit of a tip, quiets your head, and tonight he's been awfully good.
26-year-old southpaw. Maddox's pitching coach peeking through. And a strike taken. Mark Reynolds drew a walk his first time up. Well, that's going to be 5 walks that he's picked up in the last 2 ball games. The 0-1 delivery to him, and that one in the air to right field as well. Cruz in place. So a couple of fly ball outs here in the 5th inning, and 3 pitches and 2 outs.
No, he's going to pitch. He's on a pace to 5 innings, maybe. I don't know, not even 12 pitches an inning. That's what the sinker ball can do. And also trusting your ability and being able to say, what is my strength? And for him, he's got a good changeup, and he showed us a good breaking ball, but ground balls, and there you go. 3 in the air, 3 on the ground, and 3 strikeouts.
Here's Wilson Betemit. He will take it for a strike. Betemit flying out to center field his first time up. Betemit now with a 1 for 8 against Harrison. Harrison trying to go 4-0 against the Orioles in his career. He'll get it in there for a strike. His ERA against the O's in the 4 starts, 4.68. And he's already gotten through what's been the toughest inning, the 4th inning this year for him. And he's really mowing the Orioles down. A real quick 5th, retires the side in order, and the Rangers on top 3-0. Game 2 of this 4-game set. Jake Arrieta, Neftali Feliz scheduled to go. Our coverage on MASN HD begins at 6:30 with those extra. Presented by Jeep, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Yeah, you'll see some fastballs tomorrow night. Also, of course, Jake Arrieta had about as good a curveball as you could throw up in New York. Dominated the Yankees. Feliz last year the closer, this year a starter. So pretty nice pitching matchup tomorrow night.
Brian Mattis with the 86 pitches thrown. We'll have Young, Cruz, and Napoli coming here in the 6th inning. Rangers have won 5 consecutive games against the Orioles. They lost the first meeting last year and then went on to win 5 in a row. And, of course, the first meeting this season between these two teams. And Mattis will miss up high with it. Michael Young, a sacrifice fly, and he is flied out to left field. Texas started 12-2 on the year. Since then, they have gone 6-8. Now they go to right again. This is Markakis night. Back near the wall, and he's going to have to play it, and he'll hold him to a single. So Young is on to the base hit to start the 6th inning.
Well, that's what he does, and every time you think that maybe he's 35 this year, that he's going to get old, you see a swing and you know he isn't. 5 consecutive years of actually make it 6 of make it 5 of 200 hits, and then took a couple of years off last year, 213. He can hit the ball the other way with the best of them, and he just did. Again, Brian Mattis got behind him.
He is a hit machine. Here's Cruz, a double, and he is struck out. And he'll go after the pitch up high. This Texas team, see the breakdown of those first 14. The runs per game down by 2, batting average way down, home runs way down, ERA jumped, starter ERA really jumped. 0-1 count on Cruz, and that's in the dirt. Esposito going out to get it, and a 1-ball-1-strike count.
Yeah, it's nice to have that giving up 2.5 runs and scoring 6 gives you a little bit of cushion, makes everybody much more comfortable, and that's what the good teams do.
Up to 90. 1-1 delivery to Cruz. Ground ball to third. Only plays at first. I'm not going to get that. Reynolds could have had him. It'll be a hit credited to Cruz. So he's 2 for 3 in the ball game. And now runners at first and second.
Yeah, and again, not a good pitch. You can see down and in. Couldn't quite get to it. All you got to do is be able to put a handle to it, and unable to do it. So coming in quick. Nice little play there. The transfer, that's where the problem is. So really this game, and as Brandon Snyder's going to step to the plate, or Napoli's going to step to the plate, has only been about 2 or 3 pitches. But when you're getting shut out, boy, it really exacerbates them.
Here is Napoli. Napoli flied out and struck out in the 2 plate appearances he's had. He's got an opportunity here with runners at first and second and nobody out. Napoli 229 off lefties, and the Orioles left-hander gets it in for a strike. 1-ball, 1-strike. 8 hits in the game for the Rangers. The Orioles have only 2. There is Stu Pomerantz, called up today by the Orioles along with Jason Birkin to give him some help in the bullpen. That will be fouled off the other way. Tommy Hunter has been sent down, the Orioles starter. He's got to stay at least 10 days, and Buck Showalter said probably for 2 starts at least. Don't forget our PNC postgame tune-in, brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever and you coming up. Jim and Rick on hand. You'll listen in to Buck Showalter in the press conference and player interviews and more after the ball game. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that's going to miss down low. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Ronnie Paulino also sent down. Buck Showalter indicating in the press conference before the game to work on more on his defense and to get some regular games in at the AAA level.
Oh, they really like his bat. Yeah, they don't like his glove. And again, if you're going to have good pitching, you'd like to have your backup catcher be not to be a catch and throw guy, but he has to be able to call a game. The pass ball early on in the game with Wei-Yin Chen pitching on Friday night certainly didn't help his outing.
3-2 delivery down to third. Nope, base hit into left field. Betemita's up with it. Runner coming home. Here's the throw to the cutoff man. It will be cut off. Napoli gets the RBI single. Young comes around to score, and it is a 4-0 Texas lead.
Well, they keep coming at you, and again, Napoli. He can hit. We told you about the 383 the second half of the year. Big, strong guy, so his ground balls, again, enough bat speed. Do you think maybe you might get it, but the top spin gets it into left field, and then Young, nice little read there, got a really good jump.
16 RBIs on the season for Napoli. And still nobody out here in the 6th inning. 3 singles. And here's Snyder, who had the 2 RBI single in the 2nd inning. 1 for 2 in the ball game. Brandon Snyder. Cruz at second. Napoli at first. Orioles coming into this ball game in run differential. We're at a plus 34, the 3rd best in the majors. Only St. Louis and Texas had better run differentials. You take a look at Texas now with the 4 runs they have added in this ball game for Ron Washington's team. They've had 150 runs scored and they've given up only 99. And a 1-ball 1-strike count on Brandon Snyder. Bullpen is ready if needed. Pomerantz has been up and throwing. And the 100th pitch is fouled back into the seats, and a 1-2 count on Snyder. Brian Mattis avoided that 13-game losing streak with that last performance, the win in New York, a run on 6 hits over 6 1/3. He had lost to the Yankees, Toronto, Angels, non-decision against Toronto before he got the win against the Yankees. The off-speed delivery is going to miss outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So 5 starts, 1 run twice, 2 runs twice, and then they got him a bunch of runs against the Yankees, and he was able to win.
Texas 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. Foul back 2-2.
Yeah, so they're probably over. Came in at 299, so they're back over 300.
Now, for the Orioles, with everything going as well as it has, you've got to be concerned now that Tommy Hunter's gone down, one of your starters. Not satisfied. Brian Mattis is a very big question mark despite the win the last time out. That's 2 of your 5. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and that ball in the air to center field. Jones going back. Snyder got a lot of it at the wall. Goodbye home run. Brandon Snyder has come back to haunt the Orioles. A 3 RBI homer and a 5 RBI game.
Well, that's pretty much what they averaged last year, 7.7 runs a game. They got 7. Another breaking ball. You take a look from this angle. Is it up? Oh, boy, is it ever. Well, the ball just keeps going, and then try to get the glove. There you go. Ready to catch it, but just out of his reach. So the high breaking ball. In fact, just Brian up tonight. Battled, but not good enough.
Second home run for Snyder in a career day. Pomerantz will come on to pitch.
plate. So he did battle, had the easy 5th inning, but the 6th inning undoes him. Stu Pomerantz comes up. The Orioles acquired him, minor league free agents. Actually had pretty good numbers. Big guy, 6'7". So Double-A Bowie, 8 games down there, and a couple of saves, a lot of strikeouts, 32 strikeouts in 19 innings. Major league debut. This is your first major league pitch right here.
And it'll go to right field off the bat of Gentry. Markakis is there to get it, and Pomerantz is in the books. He was born in Dallas, Texas. Lives in Tennessee now, and pitched a lot of minor league games along the way. Double-A Chattanooga last year, where he appeared in just a couple of ball games. He had injuries that set him out for a while. He's on the comeback. Ian Kinsler. Kinsler's had a couple of singles. He is 2 for 3. And the pitch will be taken for a strike.
Well, you just go out in that bullpen. What, 1 run in the last 39 innings? You'll get good just by osmosis, just sitting next to those guys. He was already good. Here's a good fastball that just misses.
Pomerantz a real story because came out of nowhere, as we said, in spring training. Just was really there on the backside, working backfields and not expected to do anything. Ended up making as many appearances as any of the Oriole pitchers in spring training because Buck Showalter kept wanting to take a look at him because he kept getting people out. And that's what we talk about in spring training, where sometimes you can gain a manager and organization's eye, even if you're not high on the list. Down to third. Reynolds over to first base. That'll retire Kinsler, and there are 2 down. Our PNC Inside the Numbers brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Biggest improvement in bullpen ERA, it belongs to these 2 teams. From 4.10 to 1.41 for the Orioles, from 4.11 to 2.08 for the Rangers, followed by the Astros, Reds, and A's in largest differential improvement so far.
But the sage Ron Washington, same as Buck Showalter, the respected manager, said, you know what, it is a 6-month season, and he's learned that.
Yep, so the hard way.
Yeah, well, that's part of baseball. The Orioles have been really good.
Down to first and under the glove of Davis and into right field. So Andrus gets his 2nd hit. He's 2 for 4. Texas piling him up now. That's the 10th, 11th hit they've put up in the ball game.
Well, that's the hitting, and if you're going to be a right-handed hitter, I don't care if you put on weight and you get stronger and all that. That's what Elvis Andrus does so well. He uses the whole field, and his manager, his hitting instructor, Scott Kuhlbach, going to keep encouraging that.
That'll bring Hamilton to the plate, 0 for 2 and a walk so far, coming in with a 6-game hit streak. 7-11-0 for Texas, 0-2-0 for the Orioles. Pomerantz will get the pitch down low for a ball. First in average and 2nd in runs, Texas's offense coming into this ball game. And showing in game 1 of this 4-game set why. Pitch is taken up high, and the count will go to 2-0 on Hamilton.
Yeah, you got to be on your A game to pitch well against him.
Short lead at first base for Andrus. Hamilton will take it inside. Pomerantz misses with it, and he falls behind 3-0. Rangers have lost each of their last 3 series, going 1-2 against Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Cleveland. They lost game 3 in all 3 of those series. 3-0 pitch taken, and that's out of the zone. Pomerantz surrenders the walk. 2 on, 2 down.
Yeah, that's unusual. You know what I mean? Especially 3 series in a row. Those are the games that Texas won last year on the way to 96 victories and their 2nd straight World Series.
Trying to get back there to win one again, and in a division where they certainly should win the division. Oakland, Seattle, and the Angels. The team expected to give them a run, but the Angels are in last place right now as they try and put things together. Getting their home run hitter, Albert Pujols, of course, on the board, at least with a homer. That ball put up in the air. 2nd base, no, right center. It'll be Markakis coming in, and he'll put it away. But a big 4-run 6th inning and a 7-0 lead.
Trying to make it 2 in a row, but Brandon Snyder, former #1 draft choice, 2-run single to center to make it 2-0. And then in the 6th inning, 4-run inning with the highlight, the 3-run shot by Brandon Snyder. 5 RBIs on the evening. Napoli with a single in the 6th. And then Matt Harrison just kind of cruising along, throwing ground balls.
Davis will lead it off against him as we go to the bottom half of the 6th. The Orioles with only 2 hits, and Hardy has them both with those singles. Harrison, the 1-0, and that will be fouled off the mask of Napoli, and a 1-ball-1-strike count. So a big 4-run 5-hit inning in the 6th has given, at least for the moment, a comfortable lead. And go to second on 1 hop to Kinsler. And Davis is retired. He's 0 for 2. Tune in to the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report tomorrow, 5 to 6:30. Tom Davis, Mel Antonin, Dave Johnson, Phil Wood, all the latest Oriole news and notes. Don't miss Theo Harris's interview with the former Ranger, Chris Davis. We'll talk about his former team, the hot start with a new one, and his Sunday performance on the mound. All of that and more, Masson HD, beginning at 5 tomorrow. 68-degree night here in Baltimore. And a towering fly ball towards center field. Gentry's back. Exposito is retired. 0 for 2. This was the night when the Rangers received their American League Championship rings. And look at all the Rangers involved with the Orioles. Endy Chavez, Chris Davis, Tommy Hunter sent down today. Darren O'Day, Pedro Strop, Taylor Teagarden, who was injured, of course. These are all players now with the Orioles who got their American League Championship rings. And that pitch is taken for a strike. Robert Andino. He has grounded out and struck out. 26-year-old left-hander, efficiently devouring the Orioles so far in this ballgame.
Yep, throwing a lot of strikes, and again those little adjustments. You know, we showed you Mike Maddox sitting over there. He may be like, you know how the director puts his hands up, kind of frame the scene. He may be looking through the fence to look at his head, and if you see the head and it remains in your vision, looking through a little small hole or whatever, then you know he's doing what you want him to do. See,
he hasn't moved from there.
Well, why would you? Things
just
are going well.
Visible.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-1 delivery to Andino. He puts it in the air to left center field. That ball's back near the wall, and goodbye, home run. Robert Andino gets his 3rd home run, his 11th RBI, and the Orioles will not be shut out. And maybe the beginning of a comeback, 7-1.
Yep. Well, the count. Harrison has been down. He's been ahead, and then right here he gets behind Robert Robert Andino, 3-run home run off of Clay Buchholz yesterday. Gave the Orioles an early 5-0 lead, and he just launches that one. 2-1 fastball.
4th home run surrendered by Harrison.
Oh yeah, held high in middle of the plate, crunched. Greg Gentry runs out of territory.
So the Orioles continue with the long ball. They've got 42 home runs on the year. They've out-homered opponents 42-25. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Andino with the long ball. Harrison has had the 10 ground ball outs, 4 outs in the year, and the 3 strikeouts. 2-2.
Yeah, that ball on the ground.
2-ball, 2-strike delivery, and a punch down the line in right field. Cruz going over, way back. That's going to take a bounce off the wall, and it's going to roll away from him. Cruz will get it, and it will be a double for Hardy. That ball just kept going.
Well, 5 hits yesterday. I mean, red hot. That's 3 more today, so 8 in 2 days. And watch him here. This is 2-strike. They try to come in. He just reacts. And again, you get the kind of idea of how strong J.J. Hardy is. Wrist problems in 2010 and 09, and back to being healthy, and the swing takes care of itself.
He's got 6 doubles on the year, and the Orioles have a home run and a double back-to-back here in the 6th inning. Hardy with a 3 for 3, and Nick Markakis. Markakis has hit into a double play and a fielder's choice. Runner off second. There are 2 down. Ground ball to second base. Kinsler's got it. And Nick Markakis continues to hit the ground balls. And a run in on a couple of hits, no errors, 1 left on base. The home run by Andino to lead it off, his 3rd, 7-1. For the achiever in you, Dylan Bundy. His work is done tonight at Delmarva at Charleston. The 3rd inning, 3 innings pitched rather, no earned runs, 1 run total. Gave up just 1 hit, a double. He had 8 strikeouts and no walks. 3rd inning, 2 outs, struck out the batter, reached, and that batter would come around a wild would score and then would come around on errors. So Dylan Bundy's night is done. Our Twitter chatter tonight from WJZ's Mark Viviano. Bundy gives up an unearned run. Shorebird players commit errors. When Bundy pitches, have to walk to the team hotel. It's a Bundy rule. When will he be here? Talked about the Orioles. Brian Mattis going to be talk about this after the game. 7 runs, 10 hits in 5 innings. And Tommy Hunter sent down today. That ball's going to go to short. It'll be backhanded. And a nice stretch made at first base by Davis to get him.
Yeah, but J.J. Hardy makes all the plays, and he makes them look easy. And part of it is look how quickly he gets to it. Again, the most putouts in the American League. Plants his foot, had some shoulder problems, got a cortisone shot, worked on his throwing, and then there's what you talked about, the nice stretch by Chris Davis.
Stu Pomerantz on. Nice work there, short and first. Cruz has had a double, single, 2 runs scored, and he has struck out. Hitting at .228, so Nelson Cruz, if he stays true to what he's done against the Orioles, this is where he's going to pick his game back up again, coming in 2 for his last 22 over 5 games. Swing and a miss.
Not on that. Not on 94 at the knees with good movement. Well, you make a really good point about, again, Brian Mattis and Tommy Hunter. He goes down. Maybe he went down because they had to bring up some bullpen guys, but pretty disappointing yesterday the way he pitched after he got out of the 3rd inning. Really good stuff early on. His stuff hasn't been the same. Worked hard this offseason, as did Brian. But at the end of the day, when you're winning and you have other people and other choices, which is the whole name of the game.
Reynolds up and had to take an extra step. He's had trouble getting the ball out of the glove tonight and did again there. It'll be a hit for Cruz, a 3-hit ball game.
Well, you have to understand, you don't play Nelson Cruz like he's going to hit infield hits. Look how deep he is. But again, they're not easy plays. Obviously not a confident third baseman by any means, because it hasn't been easy, even though he's worked at it. And then the throwing errors up in Boston on relatively easy plays. So Nelson Cruz will take any kind of hit he can get.
That's 5 3-hit ball games for Cruz. This one to 3rd again, and that's going to be a base hit. No chance on that one for Reynolds. And Napoli is on, so he's now 2 for 4. Runs scored and an RBI. Runners at first and second base, 1 away. The next T-shirt Thursday set for this week. The Orioles take these Rangers on at 7:05 Thursday. The first 10,000 fans, 15 and over, will get the 20th anniversary Oriole Park T-shirt presented by Real Street Staffing. Get your tickets in advance and save 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. Snyder up. Career night already. He's had 5 RBIs, 2 on a single, 3 on a home run. 2 for 3 in the ball game. 2 home runs on the year. 3 for 7 for the Rangers with runners in scoring position. Snyder, the 0-1 delivery to him, and Pomerantz will catch the outside corner, and it'll go to 0-2. Major league debut for the tall drink of water from Dallas, Texas.
It's got nice stuff. I didn't have a chance to meet him, but I did see him.
Couldn't miss him.
No, yeah. Looks like he should be playing somewhere in the NBA Finals. Eat a potato. Very thin. Not that that's wrong. I mean, that's wrong being thin and tall.
Not that we all don't wish we could be there.
But he's a big guy at 6'7".
He's got 2 on here, 1 away. A 2-strike count on Snyder. Gentry on deck. And that will be up high. And the count will go to 1-2. Texas now has 7 runs on 13 hits, as they've just gone down the lineup, getting somebody on base every inning. The only 1, 2, 3 came in the 5th. And that will be taken outside, close, 2-2.
Well, I like that. Again, as Dan Duquette comes over, new general manager, this is what he learned early on. Low and away fastball, and it's just off the outside corner. You can throw enough of those, you're going to get a lot of hitters out.
Here's the 2-2 delivery. Yeah. And he'll get one right there.
Kind of have to like this arm. I can see why he dominated at AA and AAA in 30 strikeouts, 19 innings. Look at this. Giddy up.
So there's his first major league strikeout. It'll be against Snyder. And that will bring up Gentry. He is 1 for 3. He's picked up a single in the ball game. Pomerantz with runners at first and second base, trying to keep the score at 7-1. Gentry will take the pitch. Top of the 7th inning. Orioles have had just the home run by Andino, 3 hits by Hardy. Those are their 4 hits so far in the game. Matt Harrison a walk and 3 strikeouts. Here's the 0-1 delivered to Gentry. That's going to miss outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Four games against the Western Division leading Rangers. And there's Harrison, the starter of the first one. Swung on and missed again. 1-2.
Yeah, Gentry would, again, if this was a meaningful game in the sense that they needed it, you'd probably see Mr. Murphy, who plays against right-handers. And he does a nice job. Gentry again playing against lefties, defense, base running, pinch running every once in a while. But a good defender. That's what you want when you have a 6-run lead.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and reached away for it. Like the Orioles, Ron Washington has a team with some movable parts as well. And they will move around. Beltre, DH, third base. Young, third base, DH, first. Napoli in and out of the lineup.
Mitch Moreland.
Snyder in and out. Murphy, Moreland. I mean, for a team that wins as many games as they do, they're another team that moves a lot of folks to get there. Good job done by Pomerantz. He gets the force out off the bat of Gentry. Opening this one up. Saw a note today, SportsIllustrated.com had an article regarding home field advantage. Last year there wasn't much of a home field advantage in all of baseball, and it's down again this year, only to a .515 win percentage. And over the weekend there were 5 teams that were able to take series sweeps on the road, including the Orioles. Wonder what that's all about. Is there still a home field advantage to be had? Is it the ballpark?
I think it depends on how good a team you have. You know, obviously, you used to go to Boston, you'd see Euclid, you'd see, you'd see at Ellsbury, you'd see Veritek, you'd see guys who had to play there. They'd have in my era, they had Dwight Evans who could play right field, 1/8 Gold Glove. So, Cardinals back in the 80s, they had Jack Clark and a bunch of guys with a big ballpark. So, I think never had it really here at Camden Yards. You only had it when you had the highest payroll in baseball and you had some of the best players in baseball. Otherwise, I think everybody that comes into Camden Yards, and we're seeing it tonight, they love to play here. It's a beautiful place to play. If you're a hitter, you like the dimensions. If you're a pitcher, you like to get 7 runs.
And a beautiful night to take a look from on high here at Camden Yards, as the Orioles are down by a score of 7-1. Orioles, of course, have done an outstanding job on the road. They are 11-5 on the road, 8-4 at home, and have this 9-game homestand where they hope there indeed will be a home field advantage. The Orioles need some runs here late. Matt Harrison's gone the distance. He's thrown only 70 pitches. Here's the 1-1 delivered to Jones, and that will be inside. Jones 0 for 2. Last 2 starts combined 8 1/3. Tonight 6 and 1 earned run. 2-1 delivery hit hard to short, played by Andrus, and he'll get him. Adam Jones stung it, but it's an out. Voting for the 2012 All-Star Games available for you at Orioles.com/All-Star. You can cast your ballot for your favorites at least 20 times to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Camden Yards. Online, you can vote up to 25 times. Orioles.com/All-Star. Someone who's got a real good chance of going to Kansas City for that game, Matt Wieters. Wieters 0 for 2, 7-game hit streak coming in.
Yeah, you got two of the better catchers in baseball playing tonight. I mean, Napoli, again, I know he got the label out in Anaheim, but very low ERA with him catching last year, 30 home runs. You got arguably the best all-around catcher in baseball at the plate. Everybody raves about him every time you go into a city, and he's getting better and better. Seems like week to week, and that's what you want with your younger players. He's also smart. Maybe not as smart yesterday, but he took the 13 game to be the DH, 13 innings on Friday. But your line, go.
He's also got an edge which most people don't see. I thought we saw it in the game yesterday in that play at the plate. I mean, I smiled. That very big play that kept the ball game alive for the Orioles on the 8-6-2 put out of Marlon Byrd somewhere in the 16th inning. He made the play at the plate, caught it, blocked the plate, got Byrd, and kind of calmly raised the glove to show that the ball was in it and aimed it, not stuck it, but aimed it at Bird's face, just kind of to let him know, there it is, you're out, and we'll see you later.
And of course, James Hoare, the home plate umpire, took note of that.
Yes.
I think that's so well taken, and we've seen the maturity as far as just feeling more comfortable.
That's going to be a base hit, and it's an 8-game hit streak.
But I look at Matt Wieters, and again, you're #1 guy, and he gets a bunch of money to sign. I imagine he played with the big boys, even though he's a big guy. He probably played with the older guys along the way, and maybe failed a little bit, not a lot, but failed enough, and figured it out. And that is what he's doing up here, and that's part of the deal. That's why, whether it's Dylan Bundy, if you have above and an abundance of talent, and it's better than most other people, you're going to figure it out, and he's done that.
And the Orioles have Mark Reynolds up, trying to mount a rally late. 5 hits in the ball game for the Orioles now, being out hit 13-5. 1 away. Reynolds has drawn a walk, and he is flied out to right field. Harrison has efficiently gone through the order so far, coming into the 7th inning. Only 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and both of those numbers help keep his pitch count down. Let the fielders behind you do the work, and you can stay in the ball game a long time.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, those hitters kept adding runs, and then the big 4-run 6th.
2-0 count. Look to Wieters at first. That ball in the air to left field's an Adam ball. Hamilton's right there. Didn't have to move. 2 down.
Yeah, so a little unlucky. Adam Jones hits it right on the nose, but right at Andrus, it's shortstop, and then a vicious line drive. But again, when Brian Mattis gives up 7 runs, unfortunately, that's all they are. They're outs. Even if they're their base hits, I mean, you have to spring a large amount of runs. And as you mentioned, they have the 2nd best bullpen. So the minute you give up 7 runs as a starter, it's hard for your team to win.
Wilson Betemit. Betemit goes after the first pitch, drives it to right field. Cruz going back at the wall, and goodbye. Home run. Wilson Betemit delivers number 4. RBIs 14 and 15, and the Orioles at least they're going to make it interesting, as it now is a 7-3 ball game.
Well, you mentioned that it was about 67 degrees. Ball is flying. We saw some balls fly up and over the Green Monster in Boston because of the dimensions, but off the bat you're thinking maybe that's a fly ball of the warning track, and it just kept going. So there's a couple of runs. And again, it kind of behooves my point. Stay close, you got a chance. Well, again, look at it. Up. He's a sinker baller. He's been getting it up the last 2 innings. Orioles a single run on the Andino home run in the 6th, and then the 2-run shot here.
That will be the second home run of the ballgame for the Orioles against Harrison, who'd given up only 3 in his first 5 starts. Now they'll go to the bullpen. Alexei Ogando getting up to throw for Texas. Chris Davis, 2 down. Pitch will miss away. Nope, on the corner. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Wilson Betemit delivering his 3rd home run here at Camden Yards. 3 out of the 4 that he's hit. Towards second base, Kinsler will come over to get it and will get the out. The Orioles get a couple of runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base, 7 complete. Betemit's home run makes it 7-3. Eddie, you have won a total of $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, play Strike It Rich scratch-offs and enter your non-winning ticket codes. mdlottery.com/strikeitRich. And maybe more to come. Stu Pomerantz remains on. Brian Mattis, 5+ innings, 7 runs on 10 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Pomerantz came on to get the side out in the 6th. He has surrendered 3 hits in the ball game. No runs. Wilson Betemit the homer. Get the Orioles within striking distance. And a strike taken. Ian Kinsler, the leadoff batter, 2 for 4 in the game. Kinsler, a .333 hitter in this ballpark, coming in with 5 home runs at Camden Yards. Check swing, and Pomerantz gets the strike called. And it's 0-2. Major League debut for Stu Pomerantz.
Good stuff. Good breaking ball and a lot of velocity and movement.
Grounds that one to short. Hardy. 1 away. Time for you to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates. J.J. Hardy's had a 3-hit ball game. Matt Harrison giving up just the 3 runs on 6 hits. Brandon Snyder, career high 5 RBIs and a home run included. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, 31826. Elvis Andrus, double single, 2 for 4. We'll take that one for a strike. Andrus now with the 7-game hit streak. 25 consecutive games in which he has reached base. And that will miss inside for a ball. Pomerantz asking for the new baseball.
Yeah, pretty ideal second place hitter because of the way he sprays the ball around. Tonight we've seen him pull a double. Took a fastball off of Brian Mattis down the line and then kind of went with one right between first and second. Thought that ball was outside. It's a nice breaking ball that was apparently close enough.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Orioles starting the day, moving into first place in the East yesterday. Half game ahead of Tampa Bay. Down the line and right. Saw a note this morning. New Boston's in last place, 7.5 out, and New York next to last, 4 games out. It's the first time since division play started that both Boston and New York have been the last 2 teams in the division after May 1st. And both of them trying to get healthy and get their people on the field. And that will be taken. Andy Pettitte did not have a good outing. The Yankees seemingly a little bit concerned about whether he's ready to come up or not.
Yeah, they need to get they need to get him back only if he's able to pitch. You take a year off, and I thought they kind of trying to speed up the process maybe a little bit too quickly. Did he swing? I don't think so.
2 ball, 2 strike count.
It's one of those backup breaking balls. So nope, not close. Nice footwork.
Pretty good contortionist there. Count goes to 3-2. 1 away, base is empty, and he got it. Pomeranz gets his second strikeout.
Well, I don't know whoever scouted this guy, because as we mentioned, look at the movement on this fastball. Starts on the inside third and ends up on the corner. So the plate's 17 inches. That ball moved about 4 or 5 inches. That's a Jason Hamill fastball that we've seen this year from Jason, coming over from Colorado. So somebody scouted Stu Pomeranz. Gotta like the arm.
Comes at a time where there's a chance.
Can he start?
That's another issue. The Orioles certainly going to be talking about what they're going to do about starters after the game. He did not start this season in the games he played at Bowie and at Norfolk. 5 at Bowie, 3 at Norfolk. Did pick up a save in each of those locations. Otherwise, in the minor leagues, he had been a starter, but you got to go really all the way back to 2006 when he was a continuous starter, and more after that move to the bullpen.
Yeah, obviously you'd like to have that, maybe that third pitch, because you're not getting your breaking ball. It's nice to have a third pitch to go to, but one thing about the Orioles, they went to spring training. There were 29 pitchers in camp. 22 of the 40-man roster were pitchers.
Get some depth.
Changed a little bit, so a lot of options, much more so than in years past.
Hamilton with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Orioles have the infield shift on against him, and it's up high. Hamilton with a couple of walks, 2 strikeouts. For Orioles alerts you can't miss, including starting lineups and in-game updates, text Orioles 29292. Here's the 2-2 delivery. That'll be grounded into the shift to Andino. Pomeranz. It's the 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th here at Camden Yards. 7-3 Rangers. Hitting Bryce Harper. I was trying to hit him I'm not going to deny it. That's something I grew up watching, kind of what happens. So I'm just trying to continue the old baseball traditions because I think some people are kind of getting away from it. I remember when I was a rookie, the strike zone really, really small. You don't say anything because that's the way baseball is. But I think, unfortunately, the league's protecting certain players and making it not that old school, prestigious way of baseball. So
what does that really mean? That means
you got suspended for 5 games.
Well, at least you knew that was coming, but it doesn't even make sense.
Why are you talking about it?
Well, you ran your record to 4-1. You were probably happy you pitched well, and then for some reason you didn't think about what you were saying because it's like he just got invited to the baseball planet.
Yeah.
And never been on it before. So I know he's not stupid, but that was really stupid to do that. And the correlation between a small strike zone and knowing if you admit that you're going to throw at somebody, because he could have broken his elbow, could have broken some ribs. They're not even in the same ballpark. It's just, I can't believe he did it.
I can't either.
And they're under 500.
Exposito on a big cutter to miss here, and Alexei Agando has come out of the bullpen.
Well, the last 22 right-handers, they're 0 for 22. I mean, this guy last year won 13 games. They put him back in the bullpen. Look at that. You get to get a right-handed batter to give up a hit. There's a slider.
Right back to the mound. He'll play it and get the out. So Exposito making the start, 0 for 3 in the ball game, 1 away in the bottom of the 8th inning. That'll bring up Andino. Andino's accounted in the ball game for 1 run with this one.
I can see back-to-back home runs. That's when Matt Harrison finally got behind a hitter, got a ball up, and the Orioles got on the board for the first time. 2-1 fastball drilled deep to left field.
Starter Harrison, 3 runs, 6 hits over 7. He walked only 1, struck out 3, looking for his 4th win against 2 losses. Agando on to try and hold it, and Harrison trying to go 4-0 against the Orioles in his career. All of those coming here at Camden Yards. Fouled away.
Well, look at this stuff. Sharp slider. Of course, we saw it all last year as a starter. Did put him in the bullpen. There's Mike Maddox on the left. He's the pitching coach, brother of Greg Maddox. And then the skipper, Ron Washington.
Agando has not walked a batter and has 14 strikeouts. Big cut taken by Andino. Fouls it back. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Let's see. Retired now 30 of the last 32 batters. You mentioned the 14 Ks. You have to walk anybody. ERA at 0.61.
It's all right. That'll get you more turns.
It'll get you in some games.
Yeah. 1-ball, 2-strike count on Andino. And Agando's pitch strike on the outside corner. Two down.
Just take a look. Robert goes, that's outside. And it probably was. Yep. Close. And again, well presented by Mike Napoli.
2 quick outs. Hardy's has a 3 for 3, a double and 2 singles in the ball game, and will take the pitch for a strike on the outside corner. Coming off his big day yesterday, career high 5 hits, follows it up with a 3-hit game here tonight so far. Agando with the 0-1 delivery to him. Couldn't help but think on that quote we were talking about, John Grisham's book, Calico Joe. If you haven't read that yet, that quote is right on the money with what that book's about. 0-2 on Hardy. Oriole outs have come quickly in this ball game. A lot of strikes thrown by the 2 Texas pitchers, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. So the Oriole 5-game win streak in jeopardy here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, and the Rangers have done a great job. Alexei Agando, very much like Pedro Strop, who the Orioles got in the Michael Gonzalez deal last year, former position player.
And Agando just keeps it rolling. Retires the side in order. 2 strikeouts. We've completed 8, and Texas on top. And brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Dodge. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive and go to Dodge.com. Check out their powerful lineup. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer here at Camden Yards, Texas. Looking to put a W up here, which would be their 19th. And here's Jason Birkin, just recalled today.
Yeah, well, look at the numbers, good ones. Lefties, righties hit him a little bit better. I said, okay, how's your fastball command? He said, working on it. Real good changeup. He had the slider. So he's been up and down for the Orioles the last couple of years. Had some shoulder problems. But last year, 40 games. The year before, 41 games. And then all the way back to 2009, actually had 24 starts for the Orioles. Not a very good team. ERA very high, over 6 runs a game, 6-12 record, but it was when he first came to the big leagues, and he's become a bullpenner.
Been a starter at AAA, and not with a decision. 5 starts for the Norfolk Tides, no decision, but only 3 earned runs in the 22 innings that he worked. So both Birkin and Pomerantz called up today from AAA, getting an appearance. Pomerantz's major league debut. Came on in the 6th inning with nobody out, got the side out, and went along 3 innings, giving up 3 hits with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Beltre will take it inside. Beltre, a walk, a run scored, 3 fly ball outs after that. So the DH officially 0 for 3 in the ball game, hitting at .307.
Yeah, it didn't appear to be running well
at all.
No, left.
That's really well though. That'll go into left field. Beteme's coming over to get it. Just kind of limping his way into second base. Beltre, that's why Washington wanted him in the lineup. He's got a double here in the 9th inning. And this day in history brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland. Make memories of your own this summer. Book your vacation at OCOcean.com. It was May 7, 1940. The Brooklyn Dodgers became the first National League team to get on an airplane to fly to a game. And in 1957, a heartbreaker. Herb Score with Cleveland. An outstanding pitcher who had a great career in front of him was hit by a line drive off the bat of Gil McDougall. Season-ending injury and really a career-ending injury. He would try and come back off it, but it was never the same for Herb Score. Then Herb went on to become a broadcaster with the Cleveland Indians. David Murphy on to run. And I used to go over and visit him at the old Cleveland Stadium to pick up my Herb scorecards.
Boy, he was special.
Great guy.
Great, yeah, it really was.
Murphy with the swing and a miss.
So the changeup, that's what Beltre ripped into the corner. You know, I said, asking Jake and Birkin, we hear it so much. Different baseballs used in the minors than in the big leagues. I said, what's the difference? He said, the seams. Higher seams. The ball here a little bit different. And that breaking ball couldn't get on top of it.
Birkin with a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Young. RBI, sac fly, single scored. 1 for 3 officially in the ball game for him.
Yeah,
Michael Young.
Yeah, Jared Weaver trying to follow up that no-hitter. Gave up a hit, but does have a 4-0 lead. I guess, what, 74 years since Johnny Vandermeer pitched back-to-back no-hitters?
Still intact.
Yeah.
Taken down low. Birkin falls behind. Young hitting at .316. The Orioles coming back off that 5-1 road trip. Fans were excited. Unbelievable games in Boston. A real high regarding the Orioles coming in. Texas has put an early damper on that, and that one is going to put another damper on. Way back in left, and goodbye home run. Michael Young delivers the homer. It'll be a 2 RBI shot, his 3rd of the year, and his 3rd RBI of the ball game, 19 on the season.
Yeah, the harsh reality of Major League Baseball, you can't get behind these guys. If you do, and we saw it to Brandon Snyder, curveball, slider, the single and home run is, if it's up, and it's up, I mean, it's over his head. So now Michael Young, not that he can hit home runs, but he's looking for a fastball. Otherwise, he doesn't hit it. If you reverse the count, you're not going to hit that pitch.
So for Young, that will be another one of his home runs here in this ballpark. He's got 4 home runs here at Camden Yards. Birkin surrenders it, and it's a 9-3 game, and 15 hits are now on the board for Texas. Murphy scoring ahead of him, the pinch runner, and Michael Young a 3 RBI ball game. Here is Nelson Cruz. Cruz will take it inside. He has doubled, picked up 2 singles, and scored 2 runs in the ball game. Everybody in the starting lineup reached base one way or another in this game. And there's a walk. Still nobody out here in the 9th inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Koji Uehara, the former Oriole, warming up for Texas.
The machine. Strike throwing machine. And the Burns. Hasn't changed. Yeah, look at him. Major League sideburns.
And that is a strike call to McNapoli. Napoli 2 singles in his last 2 at bats. He's had an RBI and a run scored in the ball game. 3 RBIs for Young. Napoli's got 1. Snyder 5. And that will be foul back. 2-strike count continues on the Texas catcher. Right back here tomorrow night for game 2 of a 4-game series. Jake Arrieta, Neftali Feliz, the converted closer to starter. Arrieta will be after his 3rd win. He's 2-2. Neftali Feliz 1-1 on the year. 0-2 count on Napoli. Cruz on at first base. Didn't go after it. 1-2. Texas hangs on here. This will be their 6th consecutive win against the Orioles going back to last year. That'll make Cruz smile. 1-ball, 2-strike delivery. That's an Oriole fan you're hearing in the background.
Well, not if they only won 5 in a row. They had outscored them 46-12, and that's going to go up now. So as you mentioned when we showed you the numbers last year, 5 out of 6, it was domination in every facet of the game.
And they picked up where they left off in this game. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that ground ball will go towards third. Reynolds will play it and throws it into right field. Marquez coming over to get it. Cruz will move over to third base, and Napoli will stay at first. Error charge.
Yeah, just catches it, and then he just drops the elbow. When you drop the elbow, the ball just sails a little bit, and you can see Andino thinking, I want to play the rest of the year. So a very aggressive slide by Nelson Cruz, and the throw really into that slide. Andino jumps out of harm's way.
First error of the ball game. 1st and 3rd. Still nobody out. In the air to right, and that will be out of play. Orioles committing their league high 29th error. Follow the Orioles, MLB.com at Bat 12 app, iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at Bat 31826 or go to Orioles.com for details. Been a tough time at third base for Mark Reynolds, however you cut it. 6 errors over there on him, and almost they've been throwing errors. And that's going to go to third again, out of his reach that time. That will score Cruz. Snyder has a 6 RBI game against his former franchise.
Well, half the battle is to get him on, and again, the big hit that got the Rangers started. 2 out base hit with 2 strikes, hit the single back up the middle, and that was the first 2 runs, and then got a slider up and hit it over the center field fence for the 3-run home run, and that put a huge separation between the.
He's not going to smile over there, but how satisfying does this night have to be for him? Inserted in the lineup kind of as a second thought by Ron Washington, part of it being because he was here and the left-hander starting and all that. and to come in and have 3-run homer, a couple of singles, 2 RBIs off one of them and 1 off another.
Well, he's become a very versatile guy, and again, they signed him as a catcher, had shoulder problems, so that's when he went to first base, a little bit of the other infield, but here he can play everywhere. So he's kind of reinvented himself. He's their 3rd catcher if they need one.
Still looking for the first out here in the 9th inning. The first 5 have reached. Double, homer, walk, error, and a single. Gentry, the number 9 hitter, he's had a single, 1 for 4. That's 10 runs on 16 hits for the Rangers. 0-2 delivery, and that's going to be to center. That's a base hit. Big jump by Napoli. He'll stay at 3rd as Jones will get it in. And the bases are loaded. And with the Orioles bullpen the way it is, Birkin may have to take one for the team here.
No, didn't they pull him from a start that he had? Because everything,
2 innings.
Yeah, it's really flat. I read that somewhere. So Rick Adair, the Oriole pitching coach, have come out. It all started just with a change up to Beltry, and he hit it down into the corner. And then again, getting behind hitters, and even when he does throw strikes, just up enough. Maybe just because when he pitches well, and we've seen him do that, he usually has the sharp slider, able to command his fastball with good movement. Not the case tonight.
Ian Kinsler, top of the order, 2 singles. He's 2 for 5. So Texas getting to their 6th at bat in this ball game here in the 9th inning. 10 runs on 17 hits.
It is only 1 game, and that's the good news.
Bases are loaded. Texas showing why. Their offense is right on top of the pile. Reynolds up. There's one. Relay to first. And a big double play turn. Nice pick made by Davis. Another run will score. Napoli crosses the plate, but they get 2 down.
Yeah, he really stays with this ground ball because it's a hot shot. I mean, that's what they call it. It's the hot corner. And that ball hit very hard by Kinsler. Stays down on it and able to turn the double play.
So a runner at 3rd base. 2 down. Elvis Andrus coming up. Now an 11-3 ball game.
A couple of 4-run innings, and we know what that does.
Andrus will take it inside. He's had a 2-hit ball game, double single. 7-game hit streak for him overall, and hitting .306 on the season. Outside corner strike call from Birkin, 1-1.
Now, you were talking about it seems like he's been here forever. This is his 4th year, and at 23 it's his 4th year. Already 1,600 and almost 1,700 at bats at the major league level, more than he had in the minors.
Young star who was one of those, and once he took the field, it was just, you could just see he was that far above everybody else in his abilities.
And then when he was here, they had Omar Vizquel, one of the great shortstops, as his mentor. That certainly didn't hurt. Both of them from Venezuela. He comes from Maracay.
Two ball, 2 strike count. Runner off 3rd base, and Andrus will foul it off. Taking a look at our east winds, speaking of. Tampa Bay Rays up 4-0 first inning last night. They lost to Oakland. They'd won 118 of 119 games when they had a 4-run lead. And Omar Vizquel became the oldest Major League Baseball player to play shortstop ever. Bobby Wallace held the old record, which was about 5 decades old. And Omar Vizquel played in the ballgame last night, and at the age of 45, the oldest shortstop ever.
Yeah, well, now playing for the Blue Jays, what, 23rd year, I think, in the big leagues.
Kind of a coach player at this point, mentor. 2-2 delivery to Elvis Andrus. He'll go the other way down the line, and that is going to be a fair ball into the corner. It'll score a run. He will go into second base. That's his 3rd hit of the ball game, his first RBI. and it's a 12-3 Texas lead.
So Andrus' second double, one to left, single to right, and now the double to right.
He hurt his manager.
Yeah, well, that he did. I mean, check it out. Is it down? Nope. Felt high. So again, a little bit easier to reach. Very fortunate because it just stayed fair. But again, your approach using the whole field.
Texas has put up the most runs and the most hits in a ball game against the Orioles this year. 12-3 lead. Pitch is away. The Orioles had given up 9 runs against Toronto on the 15th of April, and 13 hits had been recorded in that ball game in a 9-inning game. There were 16 in that ball game yesterday, 17-inning game, and the pitch is taken down low. And Texas just having a field day here, and Birkin having to take one for the Orioles. This is the 9th man to come up, Hamilton. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and a ground ball out. Runner on at second base. 2-0 delivery to him, and he laces that one to center. Way back, and goodbye home run. A 2 RBI homer for Hamilton. That'll be number 10 on the year, leading the American League, and he leads them in RBIs, numbers 27 and 28.
Well, they scored 18 back on April 17th up at Boston. Then went to Detroit 2 days later, scored 10. Right down the middle. It doesn't work against this guy. As we mentioned, Jason Birkin just everything flat tonight. And that's unusual, and they're taking advantage of it.
14 runs on 19 hits. In the air to left field by David Murphy in his first at bat. Badameet will put it away, and the inning is over. But 10 came to the plate, 7 crossed, and it's 14-3.
Coming back with O's Extra postgame, bottom of the 9th coming up, and one of those nights it just got away, and it continues to get away. Texas pounding the baseball.
Yeah, you just kind of expected this sort of night with the Orioles playing 17 innings last night. They're probably very tired. We were hoping they'd be able to rise to the occasion, but Texas, those bats are so hot tonight, tough to keep them down.
So we're coming back to talk it over, but for now, let's head back upstairs and rejoin Gary and Jim.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. And the Orioles will come up here in the bottom of the 9th inning, down by a score of 14-3. 19 hits in the ball game. Lagondo will come out. He worked an inning, had a couple of strikeouts, and here's Mark Lowe.
And again, look at the low ERA, second best earned run average as a team in baseball. So Mark Lowe, we've seen him, right? Hard thrower. First saw him. Look at the numbers against righties and lefties, but first saw him with Seattle. So he comes in and pretty much a tune-up inning. Get 3 outs.
And Buck Showalter's going to use the occasion to get some at-bats, or at least an at-bat for the players who are not in the lineup tonight. Here's Ryan Flaherty. He will pinch hit for Nick Markakis. Markakis had an 0 for 3 in the ball game. And Nick Johnson has come out to hit in the on-deck circle for Adam Jones. So the Rangers in game 1 putting on a show, both offensively and by their starter Matt Harrison. 3 runs on 6 hits over 7 innings. Ryan Flaherty, and he will take the pitch inside for a ball.
some pretty good at bats yesterday, and as you were mentioning, Buck Showalter with the family with 30 tickets. Saying today, he said, I'm going to have to ask for a raise. It was so expensive over the weekend. And the Orioles will be back in Boston within, early June. I think June 3rd or 4th. Start saving that meal money.
1 ball, 1 strikeout on Flaherty. The Orioles, a 3-hit ball game for Hardy. The home run by Wilson Betemit and a home run by Andino have accounted for the runs. And a strike on the inside corner from Lowe will take it to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
$52 games for the Rangers last year.
1-2 delivery to him, fouled off. 11,938 the attendance for the opener of this homestand. 4-game series against Texas. Game 2 tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Ron Washington's team about to pick up their 19th win against 10 losses. The Orioles will be 19-10. And the 1-2 delivery, and that's a strike.
Great movement. So Mark Lowe gets the strikeout of Ryan Flaherty. Watch this movement. And again, good velocity at 94. Ryan gives up on it. Ball comes back, catches it. Lowe actually in Game 6, the Rangers had 2 2-run leads. Feliz gave up one of them, and then David Freese hit the home run in the 11th inning. That would allow the Cardinals to tie it up at 3-3 and then win it in 7th.
Here is Nick Johnson pinch hitting for Adam Jones. He had an 0 for 3 in the ball game as well tonight. And updating you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. You can text in your vote, A, B, or C, 31826. Results coming up in the O's Extra post-game show. Johnson in the 0-1, back over the screen and a 2-strike count. Texas jumped out early in the ball game, getting those 2 runs in the 2nd inning, another one in the 3rd, and then the big inning, 6th inning, they got 4. In the 9th inning, picked up 7 to put the ball game away. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and that's a strike. 2 down in the bottom of the 9th. 2 called strike 3s. For every Orioles walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support the American Heart Association Heart Walk. To date, the Orioles 81 walks, a total of $4,050. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Matt Wieters with 2 down in the 9th. A single, 1 for 3 in a ball game. Lowe just throwing strikes here, 0-1.
Well, that and Gary Darling calling strikes. Anything close.
14-3.
Yep. Look at Buck. Buck is looking, whoa, wait a minute. Well, that's what happens.
Here's the 0-1 delivery. Wieters will foul it back.
Yeah, good swing. And he better be swinging. Well, 19 wins, and position players saying the reason we've had a good start is pitching, and the pitcher's saying, boy, we're proud of the way we've been pitching. Just couldn't do it tonight. But again, this is the Rangers. They are, as Buck said yesterday, and his scouts tell them best
team in baseball.
Yeah, or at least in the American League. And
2-strike count on Matt Wieters. Lowe's pitch is there, and that's the good. So Lowe comes on and strikes out the side, and the Rangers dominate. Brian Mattis will take the loss, 1-4. Harrison gets the win. He is 4-2. And Texas will take Game 1 by a score of 14-3. Join us again tomorrow. It'll be Game 2 of the 4-game set. On the mound, Jake Arrieta for the Orioles, Neftali Feliz for the Rangers. Our coverage, 6:30 Massono's Extra, presented by Jeep. Game coverage will be at 7 o'clock. For Jim Palmer and all of our crew here at Camden Yards, I'm Gary Thor. Thanks, everybody. Rangers win it 14-3. This has been a Masson presentation. Jim and Rick are coming up next. Adieu.